Evening, everybody. Budget Armory Channel here, and this is a video on what I got at the Greensboro Gun Show today. I'm with my buddy, Brothers Keepers 111. I had a great time, a really crowded show today, the most crowded I've ever seen it in the 5 or so years that I've been going there. And so it took us a long time. We got there about 10 after 9, and we didn't walk out to my car till about 3:30. So almost 6.5 hours. A lot of it is because it is a large show, but also the crowds were just unbelievable. So it was really slow getting through. And we pretty much touched every table, looked at everything. A lot of shotguns. More shotguns than I ever want to see ever again in my life. But anyway, here's some of the things I got. 30 caliber bullets for my M1 carbine. I got some M1 carbine reloading dice for Christmas, so I needed some bullets. 15 bucks for 100, not bad. 38 special rounds. These are jacketed hollow points, 125 grain. $14, as you can see, for 50 of them. And also got some 357 Magnum, 125 grain hollow points, jacketed, for $21.50. 50 of them. Those are all from Georgia Arms. And I've talked about Georgia Arms in previous videos, and all I have to say about them is great stuff. If you have an opportunity to get stuff from either a gun show or online, by all means go do it, because it's high quality. I've been shooting it for years, never had a problem. Also got this little magnifying glass. Not because I needed it, but because I forgot my reading glasses and I was having trouble reading small print. And so I used that for that, but also was able to take some really close look at some guns to, check for extra pitting and things of that nature. Also got a bore snake in 40 caliber because I didn't have one, and because they're awesome. And I'll never go back to cleaning guns the same old-fashioned way again. So if you have an opportunity to get one, by all means, go to bore snakes. Awesome. If you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you've probably noticed that I don't have a wheel gun or anything that really shoots a 38 special or 357 Magnum round. Well, take a look at this. Da-da-da-da! That's right, that is a Smith & Wesson Model 686. And when I say 686, I mean 686. It's not a dash anything. So when they were introduced in 1980, this is how they came out, just like this. The serial number puts it about 1982, so it's close to a 30-year-old revolver. A little bit of background as far as like the dash and the number. Usually that meant some sort of engineering change. It could be major, it could be minor, it could be something as small as like maybe when they used to have a pin in the firing to keep the barrel in place. Now they don't. That would be a dash, reason for a dash number change. Could be major, like the Dash 5 series. That's when they started adding MIM parts. That's metal injection molding, like the trigger, the hammer, I think maybe the cylinder, the ejector rod. I know some of the lockwork internals. I think they also went from a hammer-mounted firing pin to a frame-mounted firing pin and safety transfer bar. So that would be a significant change to the overall design of the revolver. And some people say that the pre-Dash 5s are the more desirable 686s. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm very, very happy with this. The 686 itself was designed on Smith & Wesson's L frame. The 357 Magnums, up until that point, had been designed or had been built into what they call their K frame, or their medium frame. You've heard of the J frame, the small frame, and then you have your medium frame, the K frame. What was happening was that on full power, prolonged full power Magnum use, there was some extra stressing and cracking going on in the frame, especially around the top strap area. And in order to fix that, and not having to go to the large frame or the N frame, which is what their 44 Magnums are built on, they came up with the L frame, which is what they consider their medium-large frame. They're able to beef up areas like the top strap, the crane area. I believe they also beefed up... what is that area called? Anyway, you guys know what it is. Anyway, they pretty much beefed up the frame without adding significant weight or dimensions, because this was still considered a duty or a carry piece. This is the Distinguished Combat Magnum. And if you're going to, be a Distinguished Combat Magnum, you have to be reasonably carryable. So, a lot of police forces, of course, back in the day carried the 686. Also, Colt, they carried Colt Pythons, which is kind of a medium-large frame revolver as well. In fact, they built the 686 to compete with the Colt Pythons, and they did very, very well. I've had a Python, and the trigger on this particular revolver, oh, by the way, yes, it is empty, okay? On this particular revolver is almost as good as my Python. It has a little less stacking in the double action, and the single action is superb. But there's just something when you draw the hammer back on a Python. But we're talking about the Smith & Wesson 686 here. Oh, one other thing about the 686 dash and no dash and the 686-1, which you can see right here. So if you're interested in what your 686 or what any of your Smith & Wesson Smith & Wesson models are, you'll see it right here. Okay, there's the serial number. I'm not afraid of showing the serial number, and then of course mod 686. Notice there's no dash. There was a recall on these and the dash ones, and what was happening was that on full power Magnum loads, the firing pin bushing was getting clogged with primer metal. So they devised a fix. And because it was binding the revolvers, it was causing them to cease functioning, which is not a good thing in a distinguished combat Magnum. So you could send it into Smith & Wesson's factory, and they'll fix it free of charge. And once it was fixed, right where it says mod and 686, there was an overstamp with the letter M. I believe it came right after mod, right before the 686, and that just indicated that it was modified, which this gun was not. Now, not all guns needed it. So in 30 years, if this one hasn't had it done, I'm guessing it probably doesn't need it. And if it does, as far as I know, I could still send it into Smith & Wesson and have it done. I haven't asked. But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. A company like Smith & Wesson, you know, they wouldn't. Another distinguishing feature about the 686, this one in particular, does have the adjustable sights, but it doesn't have the orange ramp. Okay, so it's just plain black sights, but that's how they came. The Pachmeyer grips, I don't believe, are original. I believe it came with the wood grips with the square butt, which is what the original 686 was. And by the way, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I got an amazing deal on this. This was, I've been looking for a 686, like I said, for about 10 or 12 years, and this was the only one to really catch my eye. There was one table over, a 586, that had pitting and rust. It worked all right, but was significantly higher. So I don't know how this one lasted on that guy's table for so long. Oh, another thing that I looked for was making sure that the barrel was on perfectly centered, which of course this one is. Several guys, like LSKW1, who's the first guy I saw do a video on his Smith & Wesson revolver with the off-center barrel. And the gentleman that I bought this from, he was a dealer, had another 4-inch 686-5, I think it was. This is a little more, I think, or maybe like right around the same price. But I did take a look at the barrel centering, and the barrel centering on that one was off. It was probably just 0.5 millimeter or so, but it was significant enough to where I could tell with the naked eye that it was just off-center. It was actually off-center to the left side of the gun. And so that was, honestly, that was very disappointing. So I'm very happy I went with the older one. The finish is immaculate. I mean, there's some wear, like you would expect. Of course, on a stainless gun, they're not going to show as much. But that is my Smith & Wesson 686 revolver. This is the fifth revolver I've ever owned, and the only one I currently own. Don't ask me what happened to the others because it's too painful to talk about. So thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll be able to get to shoot this soon within the next week or so and test out just how accurate this gun really is in my hands, not a capable shooter's hands. Okay? So thanks everybody. Have a great night.